we good? Always have the hardest time trying to get this thing figured out on, on my phone. How's everybody this morning? Doing great. It's awesome. It's Saturday, right? So it can't beat a good Saturday. It looks like good weather outside. Should be fishing, enjoying your family, get out on the boat, get out on the four-wheeler. Maybe some of you are haying right now, just enjoy that. So we'll just wait a couple seconds and we'll just get into it. I'm just filling in for Hav. He decided that he would go spend some time with his family that's visiting them this morning and asked me to fill in, so I love doing that. How's everybody surviving everything? That's good. Technically sideways, but works. Yes. Yeah, I can put it like this if this helps you guys on your phones. I'll put it like that. Does that work better? Good. Okay. I need you guys excited for fair. We decided we would do 4-H this year, and we got some sheep, and let me tell you what, it's been an adventure. Good growing experience for all of us, not just the kids. You know, they get to work with their sheep and then go this week to take them down to the fair to show them and sell them and experience all that. But it's just been good for all of us, you know, as a family, just taking care of these sheep. I feel like Pastor Travis and his chickens, right? Why do we have sheep? I don't know. So, but it's been good. Let's just get into it. Good morning, everyone. This week I want to talk to you about a story in the very beginning of the Bible, and it's in Genesis 37, and it's a pretty familiar story to most all of us. And so, have you guys ever been in a situation where you felt things were 100% totally out of your control? You had no way to do anything about your situation. You know, a lot of us feel right now that even the COVID situation that we're in right now, we just feel that there's nothing we can do about it, and it feels so out of our control. You know, think of another situation, being stuck in traffic. And some of us experience that if you travel a lot on I-84 through any of the construction. You know, I've asked myself a lot of times, why am I going 15 miles an hour on the freeway? This is ridiculous. Feeling frustrated about it, and not a single thing I can do but sit in line and just get through it. You know, how about, you know, when our electricity goes out? There's nothing you can do to make that electricity go back on until the guys out there that work on the power lines and stuff get it figured out and put back together, and then our power can go on. But how would you feel in some of those situations? You know, like I just said it a few times, felt frustrated, felt somewhat angry sometimes, right? Felt helpless. But the worst part of being in a situation sometimes is being alone, right? Feeling that feeling of hopelessness, that no matter what, it's just not going to be a good outcome, okay? And so we're going to talk about Joseph. And in Joseph's situation, he found himself trying to figure out what to do when he didn't know what to do, right? And we all find ourselves in that situation a lot, not knowing what to do when we don't know what to do. And in Joseph's situation, we're going to look at this story from a very high perspective, and I'll just give you an overview of it. Joseph was one of Jacob's youngest sons. He had one after, I believe, Benjamin, but Joseph was the youngest at the time, and he was his father's favorite son, and his father doted over him, and just give him special treatment and stuff like that, and give him the expensive coat. And so Joseph had a lot of, I think, spoiled in him, and but he was favored. I believe Joseph was favored by God too. But he kind of lorded that over his brothers a little bit, and his brothers decided, we're going to get rid of this little twerp and be done with him because he's just so annoying. And there was one day where they are out and they hatch this plan that they're going to get rid of him. They thought about killing him, and they end up throwing him in a well to figure out what they were going to do with him. And Joseph's down there, and how would you feel in that situation, down in the bottom of a well, where it's it's just wet maybe, and there's just no way out. That feeling of hopelessness and aloneness, right? Like he's alone down in this well, and then they find that there's a caravan going by, and they sell him to these guys, and they take him to Egypt, and he's sold once again. I believe it's Potiphar's house, and he finds himself in another situation where he's doing really good, but the wife likes him a little bit too much, and she creates a situation that Joseph's not comfortable in, and then comes up with some lies to tell her husband, and Joseph gets thrown in prison. And I don't know if any of you have been in that situation at all, maybe not prison, but I remember being in that situation, going to jail, and that feeling of sitting in a jail cell where no one cares about you, no one cares about your existence in there whatsoever, and once the door is closed, it feels like you're just never going to get out of there, and there's just a feeling of helplessness, hopelessness, aloneness in that situation. And that's just one of the worst situations that the enemy can get you in. And anyways, Joseph had a lot of these experiences where he didn't know what to do in his situation. But the cool thing about this is, in all of this, you read over it, that Joseph wasn't alone, right? Joseph wasn't alone in any of those situations. And why is that? Because he had God in every one of those situations. And I believe that God was with him down in that well. And I believe that God was with him when he was in prison for something that he didn't have any control over, that he didn't even do. And that I believe that God was with him all the way to the end, when that we know the end of the story, where there becomes a famine on the land, and Joseph uses his position in Egypt to save his entire family, to save Israel, actually. And we got to think about some of those ways, like, what are some ways that we can be reminded that God is with us? We can be reminded that, when we're just driving down the road, seeing a sunset, seeing anything, seeing flowers is amazing, actually. But we have to remind ourselves all the time, constantly, that God is with us, and that God is still in control of our situation. Thinking about COVID, throughout all of this, we have to be reminded that God has everything under control. He knows the end of this, right? And he knows right where you are in the middle of this, and that he's got it under control, and that we don't have to worry, we don't have to stress about anything, that God has everything under his power, and that God is going to get you through this. You might find yourself in a situation today where you don't know what to do. One thing that I can tell you is to be real. Be real with God. Be real with God. Let Him know exactly how you feel in your situation, exactly what you're going through, and what you would like Him to do. And I believe that God has compassion on us. The Bible talks about compassion a lot that Jesus had on people that He met. And I believe that God has compassion on us. And God's going to have compassion on your situation. And know that this too is, what can I learn through this? There's always something that you can learn in every situation, and something that God is trying to teach you in every situation. Whether it's a stumbling block that you need to learn, whether it's some patience, whether it's some discipline, whether it's anything. God has something for you to learn in every situation, and God wants to get you through that. He wants to grow you, right? That's our whole purpose in a lot of things. And so, not knowing what to do is sometimes good, because we can hand it over to God, because He knows what to do, and we can trust Him, right? We often want perfect resolutions to our situations, but they don't always come, right? For my mom, she, as many of you know, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and the feeling of hopelessness in that situation is just, it's crazy to hear that story. But I wanted God to just heal her, and He didn't just miraculously heal her. It wasn't in the cards for her. But what happened was, is God showed His faithfulness step by step in this whole situation, and God has been healing her the whole time. And He give us my mom for a lot longer than what they told us that we were going to have her for. She did her last chemo treatment, and I'm going to talk to this. Travis has asked me to talk to this a little bit on Sunday. Not this Sunday, but a Sunday soon. But her last diagnosis was that she has to do no more chemo, right? She's 6 months early on her chemo, and that there's no abnormalities, and that everything is the cancer is shrinking, and it's going away. And so God has just been healing her little bit by little bit, and it's just been amazing to watch, and amazing to watch our faith grow in this situation. And so, just to recap everything, be real with God, put your trust in Him, find out what we need to learn through our situation, right? And just trust Him for the best outcome, because it's going to be good. And God is going to get you through what you don't know what to do, right? So, have a great Saturday, guys. Get out there, mow your yard, just do whatever you got to do. Just enjoy each other today, and have a blessed day, and we will see you tomorrow at church. Bye, guys.